the HBCUs of business. From hustle to business to company to unlimited value. A hustle is an informal, unorganized business, but a business is a formalized, organized hustle. Good evening, everybody. My name is JD Garnier. If you don't know me, I'm the creator of Melanomics Podcast. I'm the founder of, the host of Walking in Wealth radio show on KKNOK 75 AM in New Orleans and 107.1 FM in New Orleans. If you're in the greater New Orleans area, you can check me out every Monday and Wednesday at 9 a.m. You can also check out my Melanomics Podcast on Spotify, iTunes, and you can subscribe to my Melanomics YouTube channel for a lot of that content. If you've been watching my videos, I've been posting a lot about wealth. I talk a lot about a specific wealth mindset that you have to have. Sometimes I try to give you specific ideas and strategies just to change your circumstances and to change your life. But my whole thing is it's bigger than just the money. The money is important. Don't get me wrong, because money gives opportunity, but it's deeper than the money. The money is just a tool. And so for you to really, really pursue wealth, you have to change the way that you think. You have to change the way that you view money. You have to change the way that you view wealth. If you know my definition, rich is the accumulation of resources and money. You can be rich and not be wealthy. Wealth is the relationship between time and money. When you're wealthy, you see an increase in your money without an increase in your time. Your income goes up without the requirement of you having to work for it. That's how you really build wealth. A couple of days ago, I focused on business owners simply because there's a lot of conversation about business owners in the past year, especially coming out of the pandemic. A lot of people who never thought about starting a business, opening a business, becoming an entrepreneur, they've taken that risk. They've taken that dive. And I respect it. I really do. I've been working with business owners for over 21 years. And so as I see a lot of that activity and a lot of that progress, I feel it only right to drop some knowledge, drop some jewels, to really just drop some wisdom to help you pursue that path. Because if you have chosen to be a business owner, it is not easy. Especially in the beginning, it's not easy. It is rewarding, it's fulfilling. You can truly build wealth that way. But it's not easy. And not everybody is built to be a business owner. And the other day, I talked about the HBCUs of business. The HBCUs of business. Remember that term. Because especially in the Black community, there are over 2 million Black-owned businesses in this country. But over 95% of those businesses are ran by one person. Meaning it's a lifestyle business. It's not a company. It's not anything that they can sell or pass down to their family. It just creates income to maintain their lifestyle. But if we're truly going to build wealth in our community, we need to expand that. We need to grow those businesses in a way where they can employ people, they can be job creators, and they can make more money and they can have more resources available to them. Because as long as that job is dependent upon their work and their labor, then there's really no wealth that can be gained from that except for the income that you get as you're working on your business. And so the HBCUs of business give you a path to change that. And basically that acronym stands for from hustle to business to company to unlimited value. HBCU, from hustle to business to company to unlimited value. And the reason why that's important is because like I always say, a hustle is an informal, unorganized business. It's not formalized. But a business is a formalized, organized hustle. So if you just have a hustle, you don't really have anything of value. So you want to change that to a business. But once you have a business, the next step is to convert that into a company, something that can be ran, maintained, and established without your presence. As long as it requires your presence, then the value is with you. And once you're gone, the company has no value. Once you can turn that business into a company, now you can scale it, you can grow it, and create unlimited value. So that's the goal. HBCUs of business. What's up, Chad? What's up, man? Appreciate your support, man. If you like my stuff, share it. Engage. I appreciate your likes. I appreciate your messages, man. But that's why that's important, because we as much as 2 million businesses is in our community, if 95% of those businesses are ran by one person, how much value really is in those businesses? And once that 95% of people are gone, the wealth that they're creating with their businesses goes with them. And so the only way to expand and grow those businesses to create enough value, to create generational wealth, to transfer it to the next generation, to create something that is able to be established without the presence of the owner, we have to be able to grow the businesses. We have to apply the HBCUs of business, from hustle to business to company to unlimited value. And so today, I want to give you 10 ways that you know that you're not really a business owner. 10 ways to know that what you're doing is really just a hustle. It's not really a business. And I'm going to tell you that not to criticize, but to help you convert and change whatever you're doing into a business. But these are 10 ways that you know that you don't have a business. Before I do that, again, subscribe to my Melanomics YouTube channel. If you're in the greater New Orleans area, check me out on 107.1 FM and 7:50 a.m. on Monday and Wednesday at 9 a.m. And also you can get my book, How to Sell When Your Clients Don't Look Like You. Minority's Guide to Success in Sales. It's on Amazon. It's on barnesandnoble.com. You can get it on my website, jdgarnier.com. I appreciate that support. Really, honestly, I don't really do any of this for income. I'm really doing it because I want to inspire, I want to challenge, and I want to help grow my community. But let's get into it. 10 ways to know that you don't have a business. Let's jump right into it. The first, number one way, and this is simple, to know that you have a hustle and not a business, is you don't have any legal documents. I don't care how much money you're making with your business. If you're not legitimately legal, nobody sees you as a business. The IRS doesn't see you as a business. The bank doesn't see you as a business. You're not getting any of the tax benefits as a business. So I don't care how much money you're making with it, whatever you're doing, you have to be legitimately legal. You have to have your paperwork filed with the state. You have to be up to date on all of your filings. You want to be legitimate in the eyes of the world and how you run your business. Nobody's going to take you seriously if you don't take that first step. And so you want to get your paperwork in order. You want to make a decision. Maybe you know enough about business. If not, you want to talk to a tax advisor to determine, based on the type of business you have, do you need an LLC? Do you need an S Corp, a C corporation? There are other types of business entities, a partnership. You have to decide that based on the type of business you have, as well as the type of tax structure that's going to be the most favorable to you. I'm not a tax advisor, so I can't give that advice. But all of those different business entities have benefits and they have downfalls. So you have to know enough about your business to know which is best. But if you're not legitimate, you're not even in the game. I don't care how much money you're making. It's not a business, it's a hustle. The number two way to know that you don't have a business is you don't have a business tax return. Again, you want to be legitimate in the eyes of the world. And for your business to truly be legitimate, you want to file taxes on that business. What is the point of having a business that you're making a certain amount of income on, that's maintaining your lifestyle, if you're not going to take advantage of the tax benefits of being a business owner? That's one of the main benefits of being an entrepreneur, is there's a tremendous amount of write-offs and things that you can deduct to benefit you for taking the risk of being a business owner. But if you don't have your stuff in order, if you don't have tax returns, you can't grow your business, because you can't get a loan, because a loan is going to require that you have tax returns to show your income, expenses, and all of the things necessary to do that. So you won't be able to get capital. You won't be able to really probably get any type of partnership or funding or anything if you don't just have that basic step done. So you don't have your legal documents, you don't have a business tax return, you don't really have a business. You have a hustle. The third way to know that you don't really have a business is every time you do a deal, the process is totally different. Every time you make money, every time you do something, the process is completely different. You don't have a formalized process on how you actually conduct your business. One time you've done business this way and you just happen to make some money. The next time you did a deal and it was completely different. And you may be really good at hustling and making it like that, getting it how you live. But it's not a legitimate business if every time you do business, the whole process is completely different. There's no client experience. There is nothing that is repeatable that somebody can look at and say, okay, this is how you got that customer or how you got that client. This is a process that can be followed. If every time you do it is different and there's no structure to it, you probably have a hustle and you don't have a business. The fourth way to know that you probably don't have a business is you don't have a business plan. You don't have anything written down. You know what you want to do here and you're executing it, you're doing it, but you don't have anything formalized. There's nothing written down for you to look at and say, this is the vision of my business. This is the mission. A lot of people think that business plans are just formalities, something that you just do, if you want to apply for a loan. But no, a business plan keeps your business accountable. It identifies the specific target that you're seeking, and it keeps your business accountable to that target. Otherwise, you find yourself just doing all kinds of stuff that have nothing to do with your business objective. So having a written plan as a business owner is extremely, extremely important because it keeps your business accountable. Because if there is no accountability, how are you going to grow? So you got to have a plan. Otherwise, it's just a hustle. I don't even consider it a business. The fifth way to know that you probably don't have a business, you don't have a specific prospecting strategy. How are you getting customers? How are you getting clients? What is the process that you follow to go about getting clients? If there's no specific process, and again, you're just getting it how you live, you're just out there, trying to find it any way you can, but you don't have a formalized process, that's probably a hustle. And if anybody's going to look at or try to value what you're doing, they're not going to be able to do it because there's no process to follow. And if you see the first few things I'm talking about, it's all around creating a structure. There's a reason why it doesn't matter if you go to Chick-fil-A in Texas or California or New York. Every time you walk into Chick-fil-A, the experience is almost exactly the same. That is not by accident. That is because there's a formalized process in how they do business. And it doesn't matter where they open a store, everybody that is employed follows that same process. And so as a business owner, that's why it's so important to create a process, a formalized process, something that you can identify as a way that you grow your business or that you conduct business. Otherwise, it's just a hustle. So if you don't have a specific prospecting strategy, we have no idea how you're getting clients, how you're getting customers. Number 6, there's no specific marketing strategy. How do people know what you do? Are you just making posts on social media? Are you just sending random emails? Are you just calling people? How are you marketing your business? And you can do all of those things. A social media strategy is extremely important in marketing your business, but is there a strategy to it? Or are you just doing whatever comes to your mind? If you're doing whatever comes to your mind, it's probably not a business. It's probably a hustle. The 7th way to know that you probably don't have a business, you're depending on one deal, on one sale for success. If you find yourself in a position as a business owner where you're depending on one sale, on one client, on one customer to come through for you to make it, that's probably not a business. It's probably not a business. Because if that deal doesn't come through, it's over. And when you're first starting out, a lot of times that can happen because you don't have enough people to sell to. And so you may be dependent upon that. So you may be growing towards that. But if you find yourself in a position where you're just dependent upon one thing to happen, one client, one customer, you probably don't have a business. If you're a real estate agent and you gotta get this one house to sell, that's not a business. I don't care how pretty your business cards look. That's a hustle. You have to have a process, a pipeline of continuous activity to continually grow your business. That's why a prospecting strategy is important. That's why a marketing strategy is important. You don't ever want to find yourself dependent on one deal. And I've been there before in growing my business, and it never happens. When you're depending on one deal, it never happens. That deal never comes through. That's been my experience for 20 years. The eighth way to know that you probably don't have a business, you don't have an established price for your product or service. Every time you get to the point of a sale, you're ready to negotiate the price down because you just want to get the sale. If you don't have an established price or cost for your business, it's probably not a business. It's probably just a hustle. And so it's important I don't care whether you have a product or a service, you want to know what your price point is. You want to know what your profitability is. You want to be in a position where you have an established price. That doesn't mean that you can't negotiate, but you don't want to go into every deal ready to negotiate down just to make the sale. Once you've identified the value that you bring, you want to have specific price points. You want to know exactly what you're going to charge for your product or service. You don't want to have to go in and negotiate and take whatever you can get just to make a sale. And so if you're doing that, you probably don't have a business. You probably have a hustle. The ninth way to know that you probably don't have a business, you just have a hustle, is you're not willing to invest in your business. If you're not willing to commit and put up money, sacrifice, put in time, you're not willing to invest to grow this business, it's probably not a business. It's a hobby. It's a side hustle. But it's not a business, because any business that you legitimately start from the ground up, you're going to have to invest in it. You're going to have to invest some time, some sweat equity, some money, some capital. You're going to have to sacrifice some things to really get this business to where it needs to be. If you're not willing to make that financial and that time sacrifice, it's probably not a legitimate business. Because that's the only way that you're going to grow a business, is to invest in it. And if you're not willing to do that, you don't have a business. You have a hustle. If you're just trying to take whatever resources you have to make some money, but you're not willing to legitimately invest in that, it's probably not a business. And the last way to know that you probably don't have a business, you have a hustle, is you're not committed. How committed are you to what you're doing? You know, I meet people all the time, and every few weeks, they're doing something different. They're selling something different. They're working somewhere different. How committed are you to what you're doing? Because for a business to truly be successful, you have to be committed. A side hustle can bring you some nice income, can bring you some money. But if you're not committed to it, it cannot be a business. How committed are you to what you're doing? Nobody has ever grown a legitimately successful business without commitment and focus. How committed are you to what you are doing? If you want to turn your hustle, the thing that's giving you a little bit of income, the thing that's helping you grow to some degree, if you want to turn that into a legitimate business, you have to be committed to it. You have to be committed to it. I've never seen anything grow or blossom that did not involve some level of commitment. That's with anything in life. That's whether you're growing a business or you're trying to plant a tree. You have to commit to the process of cultivating, of shaping, of nurturing, of watering that tree before it just starts growing out the ground. You can't just put the seeds in there and hope that the rain makes it grow. You have to commit to the process. And that's the same thing with being a business owner. You're creating something from scratch, something that hasn't existed, something that nobody has done, something that you thought of in your mind. The only way to manifest that and make that a reality is you have to commit to it. You have to put in the time. You have to nurture it. You have to water it. You have to be willing to fail. If you're not committed, it's not a business. Now, this is the thing. To turn a hustle to a business, that's the easy part. You can formalize, you can get your written plans, your marketing strategy. That's the easy part. Once you actually have a business, which is what I'm going to talk about the next time, turning that business into a company is difficult. It takes a lot. But the reason why that's important is because if you just have a business, I gave you the stat earlier, and especially in the Black community, we have over 2 million Black-owned businesses, and over 95% of them only have one employee. Meaning that 95% of the businesses in our community are lifestyle businesses. Once that person stops doing their business, no more income or wealth is generated from that. So it's extremely important that we have to take the next step, which I'm going to talk about next time, in turning a business into a company. And the way that you do that, or the main thing that you have to do, is create the business independent of yourself. As long as your business is 100% dependent on your work, your effort, your time, your vision, it cannot be a company. It has no value outside of you. The only way that you create an asset that has value outside of you, well, whether you sleeping in the bed or not, that business is making money. You have to create a company. Amazon is going to make money whether Jeff Bezos sleeps till noon or not. Microsoft is going to make money even if Bill Gates decides he wants to take 2 weeks off. And I'm not saying that we all have to have multi-billion-dollar businesses, but we can legitimately take what we're doing and create processes that separate us from the day-to-day. And that's not easy to do because sometimes we are so, we want to be control freaks. You know, if you're a real business owner, you want to control everything. You want to do everything. You don't trust anybody to do everything. But the only way that you're going to create an asset, a valuable asset outside of yourself, is to turn that business into a company. Make it a separate entity that can be ran without your required work or effort. Once you do that, now you have something of value. Now you have something that can be sold, that can grow in value, that you can leverage. That's how you create wealth. And I know we say all the time, you know, when we see people that sell companies, you know, why didn't they keep that in the family? Why didn't they keep that business? But to be honest, only 30% of businesses survive into the second generation. And that's for everybody. Over 70% of businesses die after the second generation anyway. So the goal shouldn't always be, let's just keep this business in the family forever. The goal should be, let's make this business valuable enough to where we can keep it or we can sell it or do whatever we want to do. But it has enough value that this is going to take care of our family for generations, whether we keep it or not. But you don't ever want to just feel like, I got to keep this business and pass it down. Because over 70% of businesses fail in the second generation anyway. The goal is to create enough value in the business independent of the owner so that they can run without the owner's presence, that someone sees enough value in it to where you can sell it, you can keep it, you can leverage it, borrow money out, whatever you want to do, and it creates wealth for your family. So, so the next time I'm going to talk about how to turn your business into a company. But I think this is important to talk about because we have so many people that are either new business owners or thinking about starting a business, and you want to start with the end in mind. If you're thinking about starting a business, if you just started a business, or even if you've been running a business for a little while, you want to think with the end in mind. And you want to have a vision of where you see that business going. But then once you know where you want it to go, you have to be willing to take the steps to get it there. And so if you're just starting out with a hustle and you found a way to make some money, the next step is, how do I turn this into a legitimate business? If you have a business that is doing well, but you're working 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, you got to figure out, how do I turn this business into a company? And then once you have a company, now the goal is, how do I scale this? How do I grow this? How do I maximize what this can be so that I can create enough wealth for my family to ride off into the sunset? The HBCUs of business, from hustle to business to company to unlimited value. That's it for tonight. Appreciate y'all checking me out. Again, subscribe to my Melanomics YouTube channel. If you're in the New Orleans area, check me out on 107.1 FM and 7:50 AM on Monday and Wednesday at 9 AM for my radio show, Walking in Wealth. And then you can upload my podcast on Spotify or iTunes, the Melanomics Podcast. Otherwise, I'll see you guys. Have a good 4th of July week.